Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Something Saturday on this channel, and we've got to talk about some news that we didn't get to talk about the rest of the week, and that is The Invisible Man 2 with Elizabeth Moss. So let's jump right into it. So if you don't know, just before the world went into isolation, a little monster movie came out. The movie was The Invisible Man. Now it starred Elizabeth Moss in the lead role. Now not as the Invisible Man, but in the lead role. The movie didn't focus so much on the Invisible Man as it focused on her being stalked by the Invisible Man. If you know anything about the monster universe, that whole cinematic monster universe, you know that their plan was to revise them for a modern age and give them modern origins, which is why we got The Mummy with Tom Cruise. However, they had to present an origin in which this mummy queen was the big bad. And then at the end of the movie, maybe Tom Cruise continues on as the lead, and maybe he don't. Same thing with Dracula. We got Dracula Untold, which was kind of the very first of all of our cinematic universe movies for the monsters. And in that one, it told you the story of Dracula himself. And it kind of gave you all this information and then allowed you to determine that yes, he would return. This went on for a couple movies, and each one of these movies was a failure. For some reason, they never got it off the ground. Well, and then you had the movie Abigail, which came out just recently, that isn't necessarily connected to that universe. However, it is sort of bringing a new hope to a lot of people who wanted a monster universe to be a thing. And I think it could go on and be a wonderful show in of itself, a wonderful movie in of itself. It could definitely have some repercussions for a cinematic universe yet to come. We've heard rumors that they're going to do a Wolfman one. There's been rumors that there's going to be a Bride of Frankenstein, and there are several Frankenstein movies already in production. However, one that already found its way to success at a time when people weren't really able to go to the theaters is The Invisible Man. And this particular Invisible Man was completely different. It told the story of a domestic abuse victim who was being stalked by someone, and she knew that this was her ex. No one could see him. He was using this suit, this Invisible Man suit, because he worked for some secret company, apparently. Without giving any spoilers, because if you haven't seen the movie, you really need to check it out. It is a really cool movie, and I highly recommend it. Now, the end of the movie, of course, would have the lead surviving. But if the lead survives, what happens to the bad guy? In the same way that normally you have a movie, it kind of leads you to believe that there's more to the story. Could this movie go on with her as the lead? Well, this was kind of the question then, and then there was silence, and we heard nothing about it. Well, I am happy to report that in an interview, star Elizabeth Moss may have just confirmed that a part 2 to The Invisible Man is on its way. So when speaking to Happy, Sad, and Confused, which is a podcast apparently, she was talking about the possible future of this movie. And this is what she had to say. We are I would say, and by we, I mean Blumhouse and my production company, Lie Winhell, is doing, I think, a Wolfman. We are closer than we have ever been to cracking it. And I feel really good about it. And we are very much intent on continuing that story. Now, it may sound like she is talking about that werewolf movie, but she's not talking about that werewolf movie. She's actually talking about the possibility of a new Invisible Man movie coming out after the werewolf movie. The werewolf movie is currently in production from that company. So the next project coming out would then be this Invisible Man 2. Now, this is actually very cool news because we have seen the cinematic universe fail on so many occasions. So many times we've watched it fail. But how exactly would they go forward with it and make it connected to everything else if the cinematic universe actually keeps failing? Well, this was one of the ones that was a critical success. At the very dawn of our isolation, people still went to see this movie. People still talked about it, and it was a success. So having the people that are behind this movie be behind that possible success is something that actually works. It's something that we should all look forward to. Just how would they go about it? Well, there are numerous ways that they could go about it. There's numerous ways that they could because there are numerous Invisible Man movies out there. Invisible Man was one of those franchises that saw a number of actors, a number of people take on that role over the course of time. I believe even one time during the classic era, they even had an Invisible Woman. So it's very possible that Elizabeth Moss's character could become the Invisible Woman and actually end up taking out some bad guys or maybe working on her own to do so. At one point, it was actually thought that she was going to be the Invisible Man in the movie, so people already kind of thought it was going to switch gears and start off being the Invisible Woman. Only that's not how the movie went down. And again, without giving spoilers, simply knowing that she's coming back, the sky is the limit for what they could do. She could be a lead character once again being stalked by another person using the same technology that her boyfriend was using in the other one. She could actually end up being in a situation where she is now using it for herself. She could be in a situation where she is coaching or helping someone that is using it, and they could do any of that stuff and it would still be plausible. But having this connect to the cinematic universe of monsters really does become a bit more difficult because each time they have failed. So building it from the ground up and building a unit of the government that maybe is hunting down these monsters could potentially have a situation where we could see the monsters return and see someone maybe going after them. Why not bring in a Laurel and Hardy-esque character and you wouldn't have to make them comical? They could pretty much be the ones going forward in the government or whatever, taking out these monsters, because there was a lot of Laurel and Hardy meets Frankenstein, Laurel and Hardy meets the Mummy, Laurel and Hardy meets Dracula. All this stuff was a thing. So to do it that way might actually infuse the universe with some original characters to bring it into a modern age while still being able to tell us the stories they need to tell us. I'm still waiting for the Frankenstein one. I'm still waiting for their Bride of Frankenstein. I'm still waiting for their werewolf one. But the idea that this one is getting a sequel does very much intrigue me. I think it is a good thing. And we could see this movie as early as 2026. So just that alone is enough to make me excited for it. So as always, we want to know what you guys think. Make sure you're leaving us that comment in the comment box below, letting us know what you think. And share this video with all of your friends. They're going to want to be a part of the conversation as well. Don't forget to hit that like button. It's free, it helps the channel, and we appreciate it. Miko says we need more subscribers. You don't want to disappoint Miko. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And while you're down there, hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single video we do. And then friends, at the end of the day, I know it, you know it, and Miko knows it. Fandom is family.